Alright, Bears fans, let's dive deep into what's been going down in the final stretch of OTA activities. Because there's a lot more happening behind the scenes than just routine drills. Even though there's still one more practice on the calendar, the last media available session already wrapped up, which means it's time to break down everything we've seen and heard so far. With most of the veterans already released for the summer, this week has been largely focused on rookies and select second-year players who wanted to take advantage of extra reps. Ben Johnson, the new head coach, mentioned that participation for veterans was voluntary as always, but there was a clear expectation that younger guys, especially the rookies, would be present and active. Interestingly, a couple of second-year players showed up too. And the two names that stood out the most were quarterback Caleb Williams and wide receiver Rome Odunze. Their presence wasn't necessarily mandatory, but it definitely wasn't meaningless either. Rome was always expected to attend. That wasn't a surprise. But seeing Caleb out there, that raised some eyebrows in a good way. Not because anyone doubted his work ethic, but because it signals something much bigger: leadership, initiative, hunger, and a desire to cement himself not just as a starter, but as a franchise cornerstone. Ben Johnson spoke about Caleb's presence and had some really encouraging things to say. He talked about Caleb's commitment to learning the offense, noting that while the team as a whole is not where it needs to be just yet, Caleb knows that every chance to take reps at full speed is a valuable one. He wants every one of them. That mentality is exactly what the Bears need right now. And here's where things get even more interesting. This might have been a subtle test from Ben Johnson. Nothing formal, of course. But when a coach says something like rookies are expected and leaves the door open for second-year players, there's an underlying challenge in that. A bit of a character check. A quiet evaluation. Is Caleb going to show up when he doesn't technically have to? Does he want it that bad? Well, he did show up. And if it was a test, then yeah, he passed with flying colors. That's been the overarching theme of Caleb's offseason so far. He's not skipping steps. He's not taking shortcuts. He's not looking for ways out of the grind. He's embracing the grind. He's putting in the hours, watching film, hitting the weight room, going through mental reps after hours. There was even talk from tight ends coach Declan Doyle about how Caleb's been diving deep into tape and running through plays long after practice ends. That kind of work ethic isn't just good, it's essential, especially for a quarterback looking to take command of a new offensive scheme and prove that he can be the guy in this league. Let's be real here. The NFL offseason only gives you so many days to be with coaches and teammates before training camp begins. Once this final OTA wraps up, players are on their own until late July. That's over a month of solo prep time. And when you're still mastering a brand new system with a new staff, every moment together is gold. So yeah, seeing Caleb present, engaged, and eager to absorb everything is a major positive sign. Ben Johnson also gave some insight into how Caleb's progressing, and it's all pointing in the right direction. He said he's seeing improvements across the board. There's still work to do, particularly in terms of staying sharp from the pocket, but Caleb's ability to create plays on the move is something they're not only acknowledging, but planning to build around. Johnson was even asked directly about Caleb's timing. Can he execute within the structure of the offense and play on schedule? Johnson answered confidently, saying that once the receivers are where they're supposed to be, Caleb will hit those windows. And if not, he has the athleticism and instinct to extend plays and make something out of nothing. That ability to go off script when the initial read isn't there, that's a rare skill. And it's exactly the kind of trait that separates the good quarterbacks from the ones who change franchises. The sense around the building is that the coaching staff is going to lean into that aspect of his game, rather than trying to force him into a rigid mold. It's clear that Caleb is locked in. He's not shying away from what needs to be done. He's coming off a rookie year that was far from ideal, plagued by coaching instability, inconsistencies in scheme, and some flat-out bad luck. But he managed to flash his upside despite all of it. Now, though, it's time for the next step. This season isn't about flashing anymore. It's about taking command. It's about showing the entire league that Caleb Williams is a legitimate franchise quarterback. That's what Bears fans are hoping for. That's what this team needs. And based on what we've seen in OTAs, he's approaching this offseason with the right mindset to do just that. And it's not just about Caleb. While all eyes are obviously on the quarterback position, there are other rookies and young players whose development is equally important for the long-term vision of the franchise. Two of those players, Luther Burden and Colston Loveland, haven't been practicing due to injury. And that's been one of the unfortunate storylines of this spring. Ben Johnson addressed the situation, explaining that while both are expected to be full go once training camp starts, missing these OTA reps is still a setback, especially for rookies trying to get acclimated to the speed and complexity of the NFL. Mental reps are good, but they're no substitute for live action. And in a detail-heavy offense like the one Johnson is implementing, those missed snaps can mean a slower start come September. Luther Burden got banged up during rookie minicamp, which is especially frustrating since these early reps are tailored for players like him. It's not college football anymore. There's a steeper learning curve, and every opportunity to take reps in a pro environment matters. Colston Loveland, the tight end taken in the top 40, is in a similar situation. He's been out too, but the hope is that by the time camp rolls around, both guys will be ready to contribute. Whether or not they're full speed from day one remains to be seen, but there's definitely some catch-up involved now. That opens the door for other players, guys like Olamide Zacchaeus, to potentially earn more reps early in the season, especially if Loveland and Burden need more time to ramp up. Speaking of Loveland, he did speak to the media and gave some positive updates. He's running routes, catching passes, and even doing some lifting, though probably not at full strength just yet. He looks a little leaner than his listed weight from last year, which makes sense if he hasn't been able to do heavy lifting for a while. He's probably in the 230s now, and it may take him some time to get back to that 245 or 250 range. That's normal for a player rehabbing from surgery. If anything, this season might be about him contributing more as a receiving tight end than a complete well-rounded option. And that's okay. His next full offseason could be the one where he bulks up and becomes more of a blocking asset. For now, the goal is to get cleared for full contact and be ready to roll in July. The final evaluations on guys like Loveland and Burden will come over the next few days as the Bears complete their medical assessments before everyone takes off for the summer. Players like Braxton Jones and Ian Wheeler are in similar positions. They've been doing some individual work but haven't been cleared for full participation yet. The team will use the next 24 to 48 hours to set goals and timelines for recovery with the hope that most of these guys can be full participants by the time camp opens. That's a big deal because you want everyone on the same page and in sync as early as possible when the pads come on. There was also some lighter but still fun news involving linebacker rookie Ruben Hippolyte. The guy has been making noise during OTAs and seems to be in the thick of the competition for that third linebacker spot. He's got the athletic tools, and from all accounts, he's shown a calm, mature presence throughout minicamp. But real highlight? That hat. He wore this unique cap with a bear on it and the word defense stitched in the corner. At first glance, it looked like team-issued gear, but turns out it's from a company called The Farm. They make a bunch of different hats with animals on them, and Ruben bought it 3 weeks before the draft, then got picked by the Bears. Coincidence? Maybe. But it's a good look. And more importantly, he's showing he might actually contribute this year, which is great news for depth and special teams. As all this is happening, the team continues to evaluate its roster and the possibility of adding more talent, especially at running back. Just as this OTA wrap-up was going on, news broke that J.K. Dobbins signed with the Broncos. That deal, 1 year, just over $2 million guaranteed, with incentives that could push it to $5 million, echoes what Nick Chubb got recently. It's another signal that if the Bears are going to make a move at running back, it might not be through free agency. A trade seems more likely at this point. So yeah, don't be surprised if Ryan Poles and the front office pull something off later this summer once camp starts and the picture around the league becomes clearer. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A bombshell rumor is shaking the foundations of the NFL, suggesting a betrayal of epic proportions that could send shockwaves across the league. Whispers from highly placed but unnamed sources indicate that Nick Bosa, the undisputed defensive linchpin of the San Francisco 49ers, might be on the verge of an unthinkable departure, reportedly eyeing a monumental move to the Chicago Bears. If these persistent murmurs prove to be true, it would undoubtedly rank as one of the most stunning free agent coups in recent memory, leaving the NFC landscape irrevocably altered. This notion of Bosa, a reigning defensive player of the year and the anchor of a formidable 49ers defense, abandoning the Bay Area seems almost inconceivable. He has been the heart and soul of San Francisco's defensive dominance, a relentless force off the edge who consistently terrorizes opposing quarterbacks. Yet the chatter intensifies with each passing hour, fueled by anonymous reports hinting at a lucrative offer from the Bears that the 49ers might be unwilling or unable to match. Chicago, a franchise desperately seeking a defensive identity and a dominant pass rusher to anchor their efforts, would undoubtedly see Bosa as the cornerstone of a new era. Imagine the ramifications. The 49ers, already grappling with salary cap complexities, would be left with a gaping hole in their defensive line, losing their most impactful player. Their Super Bowl aspirations, consistently buoyed by Bosa's elite performance, would take a significant hit. Conversely, the Bears would instantly transform their defense into a legitimate threat, adding a generational talent who commands double teams and elevates the play of those around him. This potential signing would not only be a strategic masterstroke for Chicago, but a psychological blow to San Francisco, a true changing of the guard in the NFC. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the sheer volume and intensity of these rumors suggest there's more than just smoke to this fire. The possibility of Nick Bosa in a Bears uniform is a tantalizing prospect for Chicago fans and a nightmare scenario for the faithful in San Francisco. The NFL, known for its dramatic off-season sagas, could be on the precipice of one of its most scandalous twists yet. Keep your eyes peeled. This developing story promises to redefine the power dynamics of the National Football Conference. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.